Hello everyone, it's your girl Asia from Rant channel. Welcome back to my channel. So I know I said I was going to do this Degrassi video last, but I really could not get this video out of my head. Like, I was thinking about it all yesterday, thinking about it all night. I need to get my thoughts on the whole controversial Degrassi not doing enough with their black characters. I have to talk about it. So you know what? The Invincible and Big Mouth videos are going to be the videos I do, okay? Still gonna talk about Invincible seasons 1 through 3. We still gonna rank the seasons from worst to best for Big Mouth since that show just ended. And I also want to do American Dad versus Family Guy. What show I like more and what show do I prefer, because I love both of them, but there is one of them I love a lot more than the other. So we're going to make a video like that too, and we're going to leave Invincible and Big Mouth for the last 2 videos I do for this channel up until I want to do more topics, okay? So let's get into this. The whole controversial that Degrassi did not do enough with their black characters, and whether or not do I agree or disagree. I agree 100%. I've never been someone who watches a show that has black characters that was just like, oh, they never did enough with that. Like, who gets really upset about it? You feel me? I've never been that type of person, because I feel like in the world, we could use more diversity. You feel me? Black characters in TV shows or whatever should get more. You feel me? They should get more. And I know some of you guys always say that, well, that might be condescending because I always shit on Missy from Big Mouth for getting too much. I don't care that Missy has a lot of storylines. It's just that Missy became a character in Big Mouth I stopped caring for, to the point where some of the storylines in Springtime they were giving her, they could have given it to someone I liked it more. I didn't care they gave her storylines because she was the only black kid on their show who got representation and got storylines. Yeah, they had Devon, but Devon was with Devin, so he didn't get storylines for real, But Missy got storylines from season 1 all the way to season 8, and I stopped caring about her character when she stopped wearing overalls. It's like when she started wearing a yellow shirt and jeans, I cared about her character a little bit, but up until when they was just doing a lot with her character, or I just stopped having interest, I just stopped caring for Misty. I did, and I just felt like in season 8, I was just very angry because I just felt like there was just so much more they could have done for season 8 for Big Mouth. So much more they could have done, and I feel like some of my characters, favorite characters at that, did not get a lot of shit that season. Didn't even say shit for real. Didn't do much. That is just my opinion. So when I say black characters need diversity, I don't care they get a lot of storylines. It's just that if you're a black character I do not care for, I don't give a fuck about your storyline. Okay, for instance, if I had to pick a black character from Degrassi that I feel like did get a lot of storylines, regardless of what you guys might say, I'm going to say Jimmy. Jimmy from Degrassi got a lot of storylines. Whether y'all want to pretend like he did it or not, he did. He's probably the only black character I can say who did get a lot of storylines, because unlike all the other black characters, they just was in the background or they was a sidekick to a white person. Like Marisol is someone I wish would have got more storylines. I liked her more than I liked Katie, for real. Like, Marisol gave more main character energy than Katie. I liked Marisol a lot better than Katie, for real, for real. I'm not even gonna lie, I did. I liked her a lot better. And yeah, they put her in a storyline with Casey, but that didn't go anywhere. She didn't feel like a part of the story. Like, you know, like, oh, she a home wrecker or whatever. Like, there was so much more they could have did with Marisol when it came to the whole storyline with Casey. Like, her and Jenna could have got into altercations, all types of shit. Like, there was so much more we could have gotten with her, like her home life, why she feel like she needs to be so shallow, why she feel like she needs to be so perfect. There's like so much more they could have done with their black characters. So much. I'm not even going to pretend like they did it. Hazel, no. With Hazel, I never cared for Hazel, for real, for real. So when people say, oh, she's a black character, they wish they would have done more, I mean, giving her more storylines, yeah, okay, I wouldn't have been mad at it, but I never really cared for Hazel. And they made her like a bitch in the other seasons. Like, she became such a bitch. Like, I wouldn't want to say like season 4 or 5ish. She became such a fucking bitch. And it's so crazy that my sister mentioned this, that in season 6, how the fuck, season 6 or 7, I think my sister mentioned this. When they all went to college, why the fuck was the Hazel part of the college storyline? I mean, she is Paige's best friend, right? You know what? That's just something I just thought I'd mention, because my sister brought that up, and I think like, well, I never thought of it until she like said it. And I do feel like season 4 or 5ish, Hazel became a bitch, like getting on Paige ass for kissing Alex, and then calling Alex trash for saying, oh, you can't afford clothes, and you made Paige a lesbian, and before you came into the picture, me and her spent all our time together, and all types of shit. Being really mean to Jimmy, and just not trying to understand where he's like coming from by being in a wheelchair. Like, they made Hazel a bitch. Like, they really did. Like, y'all can't even sit here and pretend like they did it. They did. Like, they made her a bitch. Like, when I watched them films, like, damn, why the fuck is she so mean? What the fuck is wrong with this girl? But Hazel, I wouldn't have mind if she would have gotten more storylines. She never was a character I really cared too much for. So, had they given her something, I would have watched it. But it's like, oh, okay, I don't really care for her character all that much, but I guess that's fine. But I just feel like out of all the black characters on the show, Jimmy definitely was one of the main black characters who had storylines. And it's like, he had to have storylines because he's from the OG class. And had he just been a black character that was just there that didn't get storylines from the OG era, it'd have been so much heat. And he got way more storylines than Spinner, in my opinion. Like, everybody trying to make it like, oh, it was Spinner who got storylines and Jimmy was the sidekick. No, bitches, it was the other way around. Jimmy had a lot more storylines. Like I said, from the OG era, I did not like Spinner all like that, but he wasn't a bad character. Like, he had the whole thing with him bullying Rick and, you know, getting expelled, hanging out with Jay and shit like that. You know, all that types of shit. But Spinner from the seasons, like, I would say, like, he wasn't bad in season 1. Wasn't bad in season 2 either. 3 and up, he was just so fucking insufferable. Like, completely insufferable. Season 5, I did not care about his character, like, at all. The only moment I cared about with Spinner was when Jimmy finally forgave him. Other than that, him being with Darcy and all this shit, didn't care. Even in season 6, I didn't care for his character. Like, season 6, he's just with Darcy, sleeping around with Paige, trying to have a relationship with her, even though that ain't what she wants. What else? Season 7, I didn't care for Spinner's character. Like, they gave him the whole cancer arc. To this day, I always feel like it was kind of random. I mean, I know why they gave it to him back in the day. It was still random as fuck to me. And, you know, he did some of his best acting when he had to catch storylines. So I will give the actor who played Spinner that. And 8 and 9, for the most part, he wasn't really a main character. He just was dating Jay. So Spinner's character is kind of meh. It's kind of mid for real. Like, it's very mid. And I said that, like, I feel like when I watched the OG era, he's one of the OG characters I feel like who did not get a lot. Like, there was so much they could have did with him instead of just making him an asshole and such. But whatever. But like I said, for people who feel like, oh, he was the main nigga and Jimmy was a sidekick, I disagree with that. Jimmy had a lot of storylines before or after he got shot. He had all the shit with trying to get together with Ashley. He had the whole shit with Ellie. He had the whole shit with him bullying Rick. He had the whole thing with him, you know, getting shot. He had the whole storyline with him catching his dad having an affair. He had the whole storyline selling t-shirts. Like, Jimmy had a lot of storylines. So for those people like, oh, he didn't get anything, he had shit ton of storylines. If anything in season 7, this nigga was constantly on screen, breaking up with Ashley, developing his music, getting a different love interest. I never cared for Jimmy's character. Never ever. Yes, he was sweet, very nice guy up until you just let that side out of him. But for the most part, I never cared for his character. If it was up to me, like I said when I rewatched season 4, I think they should have killed Jimmy's character off. Like, imagine killing Jimmy off, and then season 6 you killed off JT. Damn, 2 main characters gone within a season. That shit would be crazy. But you know, Degrassi was scared to do that. They should have killed Jimmy off because I feel like it would have made everything so different had they killed Jimmy off. And you know what? I think the reason why they probably wouldn't have done it because it's like, if Jimmy isn't everyone's favorite character or isn't, why would anyone care? I feel like it still would have done something to the show whether or not he was a favorite or not. It still would have did something for the show. But I definitely do agree that Degrassi could have did more with their black characters. Like, the only black characters on the show I didn't care for that I totally forgot even went to Degrassi is Shantae, I think that's her name, and Danny, Liberty's brother. He didn't really do much when he got older in Degrassi, and I'm not gonna lie, I despised season 8 or 9. So the only storylines I really cared for when it came to season 8 and 9 for Degrassi was everything with Allie and Johnny. If it wasn't that, I did not give a fuck about it. And season 9, I enjoyed everything with Allie and Johnny, and I liked the whole thing with Jane cheating on Spinner with Declan. Anything other than that, I really did not give a fuck about. So that's completely fine. Shantae is a character who, I mean, she's been going to Degrassi forever. It's like, girl, what fucking grade was she in? Like, for her to graduate in season 11 is fucking insane because she had to be in the same grade as fucking Paige and them. She had to be. Ain't no fucking way she graduated with the 2011 class. How does that even make sense? Shantae is a black character. I just, they never did anything with her for me to care about, so I just didn't care for her existence. Black characters, I do feel like who could have gotten more is Hazel. They could have given more to Dallas. They could have given more to Connor. Dave. Well, Dave had storylines, but they weren't the ones that I really wanted to see. Like, I would like to have seen more, like, for the newer generation for Degrassi. I just want to know, what the fuck happened to showing home life? Like, home life and shit like that. Like, not everyone has a perfect home life in high school. Like, I wish they would have shown more stories going on at home instead of just everything being wrapped around school. Like, showing home life would have been great. Dave did have storylines, you know, trying to get with Allie, having a whole storyline where he was dating that tall girl and everybody made fun of him because she was taller than him. He had the whole storyline with him wanting to be popular, shit like that. But those storylines was, like, I liked his shit with Allie, but, you know, it's just, I gave it like, you know, it's just, I just gotta be like that. Like, it's just so much more Degrassi could have done. I just feel like Degrassi could have did more with Dallas. Like, cause Dallas is a character I couldn't put him on my guys list because I really didn't like him in season 12 because I thought he was mean as fuck to Cam. He was so mean to Cam. He was a bully. He was a cocky ass person, and I just did not like that energy. And he was mean as fuck to Cam. I do feel like in season 13 and 14, he definitely became more liked, but at the same time, he didn't have a lot of storylines for real. Like, yeah, in season 12, they gave him the whole storyline with him being a teenage father, but that was like something they did like gas. Like, it was a go and stop. Like, they should have shown more with Dallas being a teenage father. And I told myself that, like, why didn't they do something where the baby mama come and say, I'm tired of raising this kid by myself, he need to stay here a few days with you, or I'm about to start putting you on child support, or me and him for to move down here so we could just be closer. Like, anything that just shows him having a struggle, anything would have been nice. Anything. Even in season 13, when they were showing him you know, like, skipping school and drinking a lot and hooking up with different girls and playing hockey because of Allie. They could have dived in more into that, but they didn't. With Connor's character, I feel like the storylines Connor did have were cool. Like the whole thing with him being online and interacting with that woman that was a pedophile. I like that storyline a lot. Him stealing the underwear, still confused to this day what the fuck that was all about. Head tilt. I didn't care for him and Jenna's relationship, even though they were cute, but they didn't have a lot of storylines for me to care for. I mean, the whole spaceship date, till this day, is really cute. Very romantic, very spontaneous, very cute. The whole spaceship date, I will give him that. That was really cute. Him asking her to prom, that was cute. A callback to their date with him having the helmet. I thought all that shit was cute. Him as the astronaut, I thought all that shit was cute. Connor could have gotten more storylines. And I think because he had Asperger's, because he dealt with autism, they didn't want all his storylines to be wrapped around autism. But it's like at the same time, him getting character development and having storylines would have been great. Because for the most part, I fuck with Connor. I like that he was blunt. I like that he was funny as fuck to me. Like, I love when he used to get on Claire ass. I just love when he used to couple out of bullshit. Like, when he called Allie out for being boring and hogging up him and Jenna's time. Like, I love that shit. Like, he's just so blunt, and I love it. Like, I feel like if he's your friend or whatever, he should be able to keep 100 with you. And if you're in a relationship and he said he feel like, I don't want to keep third one with Allie, he should be able to say that, because at the day, I'm dating you. I'm not dating you and Allie. So, Allie to go somewhere else for all that gossip and shit. I want to spend time with you. I don't want to have to see Allie's fucking face every time I'm hanging out with you. Period. There's nothing wrong with him saying that at all. Like, I don't give a fuck. And I just realized something when I was watching the clip on TikTok. They totally forgot that Claire and Connor and Casey and Allie, they always forgot they were like a little clique. Like, they totally forgot. And you know what? I just realized that maybe the reason why that is because Casey cheated on Claire. So, of course, why should Claire be able to hang out with a guy who really, cheated on her and such, or Jenna? But it's like at the same time, none of these friendships they wrote at 8 or 9, they didn't really remember them once we reached the season 10 and 11 era stage. So that's that. I'm trying to think, who else is a black character they could have done more? I said Marisol. Marisol is definitely someone I wish they would have done more with. Marisol, Dallas, Connor, Dave, for sure. Even though, like I said, they gave him some storylines, with my favorite storyline with him is the whole thing with the girl that he had, a summer fling with when she came to Degrassi and she got hit by a car. That was really good. That was a really good episode to me. Part 1 and part 2. It was really good. And to this day, I feel like Dave is Allie's best boyfriend. She treated him so horrible, it's really fucking crazy. But I think out of all the black characters on the show that I think they should have done more with is Liberty Van Zandt. Liberty only had one storyline I cared for, and that was when she was pregnant. They had the whole storyline in season 1 where they said that she had a learning disability, but that never went anywhere. I just wish Liberty would have gotten more. Liberty was so fucking mean, and for the most part, she's in the background when it comes to the OG cast. She's so in the background. When it comes to the girls, she definitely was in the background a lot. And I just wish she would have had more fucking storylines. Why is there such a drive for her to be perfect? Why is there a drive for her to succeed? Where does that come from? Why does that battery in her back to, I need to be perfect at this, need to be perfect at that? Where does that drive come from? I definitely feel like Liberty is someone I feel like should have gotten more storylines, because I never gave a fuck about her character at all. Up until they did the whole pregnancy storyline with her, I cared, but after that, stopped caring. Because her character went right back to being in the background. Right back to being in the background. So, yeah, guys, I agree. Degrassi definitely could have done more with their black characters. They didn't have to give all their storylines to the white cast. There was so much more they could have done. I definitely agree. They could have done more with interracial couples. Like, Degrassi, you know what? I'm not going to shit on Degrassi because it's not perfect. There is some things in that show that's, like, irritating as fuck. And, you know, there's a lot they could have done more with characters. My thing is, and I think, you know, I'm going to just say this, and I know a lot of people will say, oh, that's not an excuse, but I'm just going to say it. Degrassi had a lot of characters in the OG era and in the newer generation. And you also have to think, Degrassi only had like 21 or 22 episode running time. So the black characters that we might have wanted to see get more developed, Degrassi probably felt like what they're running for episodes, that those characters weren't going to get properly developed, which kind of makes sense. But at the same time, Degrassi did episodes where certain characters got storylines, or certain characters were, that episode was about that certain character. So they could have done that more. But mostly every character I've said on this list has been in an episode and they've gotten some type of POV. They just didn't get properly developed. Because like I said, the only character I can say who didn't get that is Shantae, for obvious reasons, and Danny, and I really don't care about him. But everybody else, like Dallas got a lot of screen time in season 12. Like I said, he had the whole having a kid in high school thing. They just didn't properly develop that storyline. What else? Liberty had the whole pregnancy storyline, and then, you know, once that was over, they kind of put her right back in the background. Marisol had the whole thing with Casey and the whole, like, you know, spreading around the school that Katie was bulimic, but that stopped. I don't even know how Katie continued being that bitch friend after that. That's wild. Like fucking wild. You're gonna spread around that I have an eating disorder because a guy who does not like you back? That's so fucking petty. And it's like, for real, for we being honest, whenever in the show did they ever say that Marisol was ever checking for Drew? When? Marisol and Drew went on one date, and that was in season 10, but he was still checking for Allie, though. So she's acting like he never gave her a chance. And it is like, girl, when was you checking for Drew when he was with Bianca? Was you checking for him then? Was you checking for him when he was with Bianca in season 11? When was she ever checking for him? You only really wanted him once your friend kind of had the eyes for him. So if we're looking at that situation with real eyes and not rose-tinted glasses, Katie was not in the wrong, because at the end of the day, Drew gave Marisol a chance. He just wasn't feeling her. And that's just that. You can't force somebody to go out with you or keep taking you out on dates if they ain't feeling the vibe. Like, girl, that ain't how it works. So, I don't know. Marisol walking around with that whole, like, complex that, oh, Katie stole Drew from her. It's like, girl, stop it. Like, shit, if she was that fucking salty about it, she could have been the one who gave Drew a blowjob in the boiler room. It didn't have to be Bianca. I mean, come on now. Like, stop it. Marisol is definitely a character I feel like they could have given more to. I always liked her more than Katie when I go back and watch the newer generation. She definitely gave more main character than Katie did. Never cared for Katie. I didn't care if Maya had a sibling. Katie was a good sister to Maya, but as a character, very bland. Like, I only cared when she had the whole addicted to oxycodone storyline. That was good. Other than that, I didn't care for her character at all. Like, none. Who's another black character? I'm not mentioning Jimmy because I feel like he got a lot of storylines and was properly developed. Dave, I wish they would have gave more to Dave. Like I said, he got some stuff, but I wish we would got a little bit more. I think. Oh, and Connor, obviously. Hazel would have been nice. Yeah. I agree with y'all. I definitely feel like they could have done more with their black characters. There's no excuse. They could have done a lot more for what they were given. That's why I said I feel like if Degrassi was rebooted, there's so many things they could have done differently. But I'm not mad at HBO or whoever wanted to reboot the show. I'm not mad at them canceling it because nowadays y'all already know when they reboot something or want to make it appeal more to the generation of kids, it's just gonna be hypersexual. Like I'm pretty sure that Degrassi they probably would have been rebooting. I'm pretty sure it would have not addressed anything that like the newer. What the fuck am I trying to think? I just cannot talk. Okay, Degrassi next generation that they were gonna bring back to reboot. I think that reboot would have appealed more to these generation of kids. Everything is hypersexual, romanticized, toxic, all types of shit. I don't think it would have done a good job like the Degrassi Next Generation or it's like, I don't think the reboot would have capitalized on the heavy topics. It just would appeal more to the audience of the kids today, and that's why I'm glad they canceled it because leave Degrassi alone. Do not ruin the reputation of Degrassi or anything just because you want to make it more lustful or you want to put nudie scenes in there or whatever the case may be. No, we don't need none of that. Degrassi is fine, period. The only thing Degrassi could have did more is given more to their characters, and they could have had a longer episode time. I wish Nick would have said, we're going to make episodes longer, but, there is child labor laws. So it made sense why they could not have long episodes because if they go past child labor laws, the show could have been sued. And the parents would have sued the show for allowing their children to work so past the time they're able to work. So there's that. I agree. I feel like Degrassi definitely could have done more with their black characters. Let me know if you guys agree, and let me know if there's any more Degrassi topics you would like me to talk about. As always, it is nice talking to you guys.